Understand that as Christ, he is able to meet my every need because he is all God. As Christ, I understand that he feels my pain because he is the God man. I understand he is a God that was so loving to me that he was able to die for my sins on the cross. I love him in such a way that I understand who he is. Now, when I have a right knowledge of him, then I can have a right relationship with him. When I have a right relationship with him, that means that my confidence is in Jesus Christ, not in man, not in money, not in material, but it's in the Master. See, when you have a real relationship with Jesus Christ, you don't lose it when trouble comes. Anybody here ever found trouble showing up in your life? But see, when you have a right knowledge of who Christ is, and when you have a right relationship with Christ, you don't wait to Thanksgiving on the last Thursday of November to start giving thanks. You wake up in the morning on January 1 saying, Lord, thank you for another day. I wish I had some help in here. I mean, you wake up every day saying, Lord, thank you. I mean, you don't need to go to the doctor and the doctor give you a negative report. You just get up in your right mind with your health and your strength, and you just have a thank you on your lips. You're just grateful. In fact, when you really know how to rejoice, you can be going through hell in your body. You can get a bad report from the doctor. You can be sick in your body. You can have everybody against you. You can have doubters in your back, but you will still be grateful because you recognize it's based upon me knowing really who Jesus is and having a right relationship with him. A right relationship says this, that when he chose to save me, you do know you didn't pick to be saved. He chose you to salvation. And since he has chosen me to salvation, that means he has decided that he is going to take care of me. And what I've done then is I said this, I can rejoice always because whatever I'm going through, I'm not going through it by myself. Anybody here, you've ever been through some stuff and you discovered that it looked like you were by yourself, but the moment you found your back against the wall, that's when you heard the Lord saying, soldier, keep fighting on. I never will leave you alone. Anybody here ever trusted in him enough? I don't know about you, but I thank God that I know him for real. See, you've got to know really who Jesus is. And when you know who Jesus is, Paul is not talking some foreign language to you, but he is talking God talk to you, because you realize rejoicing is not based upon what's happening in my life. Rejoicing is based upon who I am connected to, and when I'm connected to the divine, I can rejoice in any situation. How is it, Reverend, that you can rejoice when they give you a pink slip on your job? Because you understand that my supply is not in my job, but the Lord owns everything. You have to understand that the cattle upon 1,000 hills, they belong to the Lord. Anybody here know that God owns everything? And if I need something, all I have to do is ask him. That's what gives you a grateful lifestyle. But then Paul says, he says, not only must you have confidence in the Christ in all of your circumstances. He says, but you must constantly communicate with Christ in all of your circumstances. He says, pray without ceasing. Now, that doesn't mean that you get up and go to your job and you just walk around praying all day, acting like you're more saved than everybody else. You know how some of us, we have such religious rhetoric. You meet somebody at the theater to watch a movie. I just want you to say hi. I don't want to sermonette. I don't want to Bible. I want you to say hi and go on so I can go on. The Lord and I, all right, just leave me alone. I don't want to hear how blessed and highly favored you are. And I'm in the Lord Jesus, good. We both blessed and highly. We both here, right? We're not dead. So, I mean, just go watch some movie. I'm going to watch mine. I don't need it. I'm messing with somebody because you don't like that. You don't know my story. I know. And I don't want to hear it at the theater. Wait till Sunday. Talk to me somebody. If y'all would be honest, you don't want to hear all that God. You at the ball game, you at hype about the game. You don't talk about Sunday school at the game. I mean, I'm living my Sunday school at the game. Just leave me alone. So he says this, he says, constantly communicate, says, pray without ceasing. Now, what's unique about this is, the Apostle Paul, he says, now, when you understand praying without ceasing, it means that I'm constantly talking to God at all times. He's suggesting an attitude. You should have an attitude where you're always on the agenda of the Almighty. See, I don't need to wait until the trouble comes for me to start praying to God. I don't need trouble to prompt me to pray. I mean, I'm just thankful that I have an open line of communication. I mean, I don't need to wait until I get to the dinner table to pray. I mean, I have an attitude of prayer where it's not about how I verbalize it. It's just living a victorious life. It's understanding that my prayer life is so real that I understand that there is a time for me to be in my private closet of prayer, and then there's a time for me to pray publicly, and then there's a time for me to understand that it should be just about my attitude. See, when I know how to pray right, it's based upon me knowing Jesus right. See, let me say this. I said you have to have a right understanding of him. See, when you have a right understanding of him, you know how to talk to him. You know how to converse with him. In fact, you know that even when you can't formulate words in the English vernacular, you understand that he already knows what you have need of before you even ask. See, when you know him right, you understand that you can just sit down and just groan to him, and he knows what you have need of. I mean, have you ever been there? You could not formalize a word even with your expansive vocabulary, even how you know how to conjugate verbs, but you found yourself in one of life's most difficult situations, and you could not utter a verbal word of prayer, but you looked at your situation a few moments later, and you knew that God knew what you were saying, even in your spirit. Anybody here ever had a moment when you just didn't know what to say to God, but thanks be to God, he knew what you had need of before you could articulate it in your English vernacular? Sometimes you just don't know how to tell it, but he knows how to respond. See, when you know Christ, you don't walk around talking about karma. See, karma is a Hinduistic and a Buddhist perspective. It talks about actions. It says that if you have this action, you're going to get this kind of response. The Hinduistic perspective says that you've reached a certain place of plateau. I mean, in the Buddhist perspective, it's not so much about fate, but it's about if I make this action, I'm going to get this action back. Well, do you know if karma was true, every one of us would be wiped out? As many folk as we have stabbed in the back, as many folks' throat we have cut. I mean, if karma was real, we would all be jammed up. But see, that's not how God works. He's not working like that. Some of you right now are planning how you're going to eat on December the 31st, January the 1st, because you believe if you eat a certain food, you're going to have something different. You've been eating the same food for the last 25 years and in the same situation